It's like 5 p.m.
It
feels late, right?
The time change. Where's
Is that what it is? He's not coming.
That's right. He told me that. Time change.
Probably be here at 6.
Because this part's closed.
Or she didn't change her watch, maybe.
You ready for roll call?
Sure. Ready.
Trustee Wood,
Here.
Trustee Tarpley,
Here.
Trustee Brady, Trustee Terrell,
Here.
Trustee Griffin is not here, Haley is not here, and Superintendent President Dr. Wallen is not here, but Monica Martinez, Vice President of Human Resources, is standing in. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
We don't have an agenda up. My computer's locked. I don't know the password, but any
password
public
1.
comments regarding closed session items? And then we can adjourn to closed session, or is there anything else on the agenda before? We're good. Okay, adjourn to closed session.
That's for later. I know.
I had to give Jen a beat to get
How are you? I was off last week, so I didn't know if I was supposed to be in closed session or not. And then I got a new one. But I was finally actually taking it off. The other one always breaks. So different? Is it different haircut?
Glasses.
Oh, okay.
No, different haircut.
I was gonna say,
Very different.
very impactful glasses. And then it was hot. It wasn't as hot as the last one, but it was still hot, you know. Even after plugging it was hot. I didn't even think he was gonna. Well, I think it was on his phone, and he was gonna.
I have some orders for you right now. Sorry about that. Oh, they do not have a microwave.
But I will say, I've been using one of these things
I'll talk to Dan about it.
months.
Yeah, so then I was like,
We do where?
I a lot of things. So we can.
Oh, it's in the.
However, I hope they are. Laptops every week. But also.
Move.
Consequences for
Turn it up and down. It's not.
the. It went back to the doctor. It wasn't just recall. Nowhere multiple times.
Before I bought
Oh, really? I know, so.
Thinking of a.
Also writing my.
Like in the Just Ranch one? Or Dickies used to be. Oh, Dickies isn't there anymore?
You know, I'm like. Franchise.
Well, that was his Thursday. No, not to the Big Island. 5 days. Pardon me? It's about, it was just too quick. We're not that far. Polo.
already, I already alerted the VPs. All right. Where's-
What?
Like the gavel.
Do you want me to do the thing?
Yeah, do the thing. Look, they're
Why?
still chit-chatting. Morley's over
Nah,
there
just
talking.
Morley.
Don't.
Morley.
Uh-oh. I thought he was going to have the sergeant at arms. you
Hey,
know?
it wouldn't be the first time Morley's been hit with a hammer.
Like last week, you know?
Except normally it's a waffle head drywall hammer, not this little dinky thing.
Okay, ready? All right, Trustee Wood,
Here.
Trustee Tarpley,
Here.
Trustee Brady,
Here.
Trustee Terrell,
Here.
Trustee Griffin is absent today. Student Trustee Reyes.
Here.
Superintendent President Dr. Walden is absent today, and his place is Monica Martinez, Vice President of Human Resources.
Oh, stand up. Standing ovation.
Give a speech.
Do we get raises tonight?
Let's keep it moving.
All right. Any public
We've
comments?
lost two. Be good.
Public comments? No public comments. All right. Additions or deletions?
Pledge of Allegiance.
We do.
Oh, wait. You know what? That's why I was up at the pre-closed session. Good looking out, Terrell. Pledge of Allegiance. Let's see. Morally, you can lead us. And that's your penance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Closed session report out. Is Jeff tuning up or he
No,
sent you
she-
something?
I have it.
Okay.
The board met in closed session at 5:03 PM. 4 board members were present, with board member Dr. Chappelle Griffin absent. Item 2.1, conference with legal counsel. No reportable action. Closed session concluded at 5:40 PM.
Announcement of items deleted or corrected from the agenda.
I have one. Shoot. It's in my paper.
Yeah, don't we do that after 3-5?
No, it's usually
Oh, sorry.
All right.
The Lord will have to wait tonight.
Stephanie, I don't know what I did with the sheet.
He's gonna get
here.
Make
his.
them till the end.
You want a minute? We can do the invocation while you're looking. Can we call up the pastor for the invocation?
Pastor Rick Stone Street, please come up. You know, tell us who you are in the church, because we don't ask that, which has been my fault, but we appreciate you taking the time to come over here.
Thank you. My name is Rick Stonestreet. I'm pastor of Mountain View Baptist Church. We're right behind Smart and Fine off of Bear Valley Road. And we're on the corner there of Locust and Sequoia. And so that's where I am. And the church is getting ready to ground break for a new parking lot. And we're building a new building, but we're starting with a parking lot first. So that's where we are. And would appreciate your remembering and thinking about us as we're endeavoring to move forward.
Thanks.
And I want to say something else too, if you don't mind. I'd like to say thank you for allowing me to come and pray for this meeting, and you're wanting to invoke God to be here with you, and that's a marvelous thing. So thank you so much for that. Dear Lord, tonight as we gather, we know the importance you place on education. Please, Lord, we call upon your presence and wisdom to guide the meeting. Thank you for this board who desires your hand upon these decisions. These students in this community are blessed with this great college. Thank you for allowing us to benefit from the knowledge it brings. Lord, please direct each of the board members as they make decisions which will further the educational endeavors. Please keep unity and order in each discussion. May you have your way in this meeting. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
I found it.
She found it. There we go. It worked.
Okay, so for item 10.29 under the consent agenda, change wording from bursar to cashier's office.
Perfect. Stephanie, do you need a minute to edit that or no? It's already done? Okay. Okay, public comment related to non-agenda items. None. Board of Trustee goals. I believe it's Trustee Terrell tonight.
No, I think.
Or it was Griffin.
Griffin, and I heard that Trustee Tarpley was going to take it.
That's hilarious. No, that's not the case at
I
all.
like that. Wow. It's like an asphalt roll, though. Yeah.
No,
Wow.
All
I
right.
have no goals.
So just
Ooh,
so
why
the
doesn't
public,
anybody tell me?
just so
Okay,
the public's
so
aware, Trustee Griffin kind of had a kind of last minute medical-ish emergency. He's fine. He's good, but something that was probably a little more urgent than being here, so we wish him well.
Oh
You're-
no, girl.
You're never going to hear the end of it. Terrell had to bail you out.
Bail me out, Terrell.
I'm doing it.
He's bailing you out.
It's not here.
We have no goals, thank you.
Wait a minute,
We're goalless currently.
We're just gonna wander aimlessly through the meadows.
So we will, we'll skip it and we'll save that one. Let's push that one back or let's not skip it. There we go. Terrell's bailing out Jen.
I can throw my voice, watch.
Totally do it.
The following governing board goals define how the trustees will add value to the district through their governance, with the focus on the mission, quality, outcomes, and improvement. The board demonstrates their policy and mission-directed leadership role and responsibility for institutional effectiveness and student success as outlined in the Guide to Accreditation for Governing Boards. So the goal is to provide appropriate support for Associated Student Body 2024-2025 goals and objectives that advocate for and increase student success, student safety, and student pride in themselves and Victor Valley College. The installation of shade structures on the lower campus, starting with the 66s complex, and the scheduled maintenance to paint and install carpeting in the art building will enhance the student experience at Victor Valley College. The shade structures will improve student comfort, safety, and provide sheltered spaces for outdoor learning. The updates in the art building will create a cleaner, more inviting atmosphere, fostering campus pride and contributing to a positive learning environment that supports student success. Couldn't get that high, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So just in the future, I have a phone. Nope. That's
Nope.
a negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
Excellent update, Jen. Thank you very much for that.
My pleasure.
All right, individual Board of Trustees reports. We'll go to Jen first.
Oh my goodness, the pressure. Had a great time at the gala, the Regatta Gala. It was so much fun, and it was a pleasure to see the majority of the faces in the room there. And man, that foundation knows how to throw a party. They sure do. So very exciting. My husband spent a lot of money buying all the things because that's what he likes to do. It's like his hobby. And so we have a lot of alcohol. If anybody would like anything, please just text me.
Grey Goose.
No, you can't have that. You can have anything else, anything tequila related you can have. But thank you so much. It was beautiful. It was stunning. Chris, Kirsten, your whole team, you guys are amazing. So that was really, I think, all I made it to in regards to VVC, and I just love you guys so much. Thanks for listening to my update.
Trustee Brady?
Kirsten, you and Chris, and your entire staff, you guys really did a good job. I still hear, yesterday I was out at lunch and somebody said, it was great. They love the building. I think, we stepped up our game, and congrats to all of you. I attended the Victor Valley Union High School District lunch that they did. They did it here in the room, and again, packed room. They actually had more than we did. I don't know how we're going to get 624 people in here when the high school district had 400. We had, 375? Was that right? And the room was full. So I'm kind of curious how we're going to kind of do that. But that was a nice lunch, and it was well attended. For the board here, we've arranged a real high-level tour of the Skechers distribution facility down in Moreno Valley. It's intended really to connect our college with Ito Menzivi, who is developing almost 100 million feet of industrial space down there. He developed the Skechers building, which is 2.5 million feet. They're going to add more onto it. But the idea is, I think that I know that Dr. Todd Scott, Dr. Tarango, and a couple of the other deans will go on that tour. The idea is for us to prepare our school for contract ed, for the logistics industry. We have 32 million feet of industrial up here right now. We have 80 million feet in the queue, and I think that we need to do it. So without giving out the date and the place, if anybody would like to go, tell me today at the break. It's going to be a 4-hour tour. It's 2.5 million feet. I think it'd be really worthwhile. I think Trustee Terrell would probably really like it, but the whole idea is to give us a better idea of how to prepare for the logistics industry, which I think we need to deal with. So
That's cool.
That's my report.
Student trustee?
Hello. So last Friday, ASB took a trip to Antelope Valley College, where we met with the superintendent president, Dr. Jennifer Zellett. We also met with their dean and their associate student body, and we got a tour of their entire campus, which is amazing. My favorite part was the automotive department, because they actually have a Back to the Future car and a Ghostbusters car. And so that was amazing to see. I also attended the Hall of Fame, amazing event held by our foundation. They're amazing as always. I also attended the Black History event and the Put the Guns Down documentary showing, and as always, those were absolutely phenomenal and beautiful and very emotional, and I really enjoy my time here. Thank you.
Trustee Terrell?
I also very much enjoyed the gala. Got to spend a little bit of time sending Dr. Walden a private message from the trustees.
Really a private message.
You did a great job,
Semi-private.
Kirsten. Thank you very much. You know how to throw a great party for 350 or so folks. The facility is wonderful. I also had the opportunity to host a tour out at the cement plant for future VVC attendees from Lucerne Valley High School, and met with them and encouraged them to find career technical education fields so we can find future employment for them. And I've had an opportunity to tour the Big Lots, which used to be Big Lots facility, and that Skechers one looks really inviting, so I look forward to that tour.
Nice. Also, again, the gala was spectacular. Thank you very much for a very fun evening, and hope you raised a lot of money. I actually haven't seen. Have you sent out? I don't want to ruin. Okay, I won't say it. Never mind. Shh, don't spoil the surprise. And with that, we'll move on to the superintendent president's report.
We forgot the vice president.
No, I started
She
it.
went first.
If I could just say one thing to our student trustee, the Antelope Valley College football stadium was part of the motivation to redo this one and this building. After I sat there 8 years ago for about an hour thinking, how can these guys have this? And we didn't have it. They have a nice stadium. So that's kind of how the whole thing started, was at Antelope Valley. Yeah, they got a nice
Did
place.
we hear their?
And I believe we're hosting an event here in the near future at this football field
For them?
for, I believe, high school playoffs, the All-Stars, senior
Oh, good.
All-Stars.
Good.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I scratch my head. I go, how can, we're the same valley. How can they have this nice, well, they just, we now have the nicer one.
That's on the record.
Yeah, it is.
Superintendent president's report.
Okay, so we're at item 8.1, annual technology update by our Chief Information Officer, Jay Cohen.
Yay.
Good evening.
Hello.
Thank you.
There was a time that nobody clapped for that person that sat in your seat.
So is this a first? Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
No, it is the first that I can remember.
Well, I'm hoping that this update, the annual update, will give some impetus to maybe some more applause next year, if at all
Good.
possible. But I'm proud to be standing before you, trustees, Vice President Martinez. I don't think I've ever addressed you as such, but I'm happy to do so this evening. And I'm just here to share about 5 or 6 minutes of updates as to what we've been doing technology-wise at Victor Valley College over the course of the past, next slide, Tim. 1 year, 3 months, 12 days, 11 hours, and almost 30 minutes. This was timed for 6:30 p.m., by the way. But as you can imagine, 2024 was quite a busy time. A lot of what I did in the first 3 or 4 months was observe what was happening. I started to build relationships, with cabinet, with members of the community, the campus community, and really get an idea as to what the major pain points were so that we could start putting plans into place to be able to start addressing them. We also had to do a couple staffing changes about 6 months in, just to try to optimize the team to be able to perform where they need to perform and to be able to serve the college as the IT department should be serving the college. And in reality, what our mission in IT is to enable the college's work, to educate students. So next slide. And one more, because I forgot to remove that transition. You can just click on through all of these. I just wanted to bring an image back to the table that I had last year. That was the last one, thanks, Tim. In reality, technology works to sort of hold up the student experience in addition to reliable analytics and data. But in order to do that, we need to have a solid infrastructure, and we need to have solid integration and shared services. So this really is how you build your IT house. You make sure that the infrastructure itself is in good shape. On top of that, you build the connections between systems and the shared services that are shared between all those different systems to really hold up the important pieces of the organization. You have the learning management system, which is Canvas. You have the CRM and advise recruit platforms to have outreach to students, bring them in. You have that SIS, the colleague SAS environment, and I know SAS is a 4-letter word, but there are some good things with SAS as well. In addition to the Financial 2000, all the different financial pieces. And in reality, that's sort of what holds the house up. And that's typically how I try to focus in on ensuring an environment is practical, reliable, et cetera. Next slide. To give you an idea as to what we've been doing as a team, when I first started here, we had about 160 projects that were official projects in the IT space. And that, even for a team of 19 and a half, which is our current head count, that's a lot of things to manage. So one of the first areas that we focused in on was implementing governance. So projects that are in the discussion phase, as we were talking about them, went down from 32 to 21. That doesn't mean we just canceled things. We actually utilized a governance process to work with the technology committee to suggest that these projects be put on the back burner because they didn't matter as much at the moment. Planning went down from 8 to 6, meaning we're now able to execute. And if you can see, implementation, we're now actively working on 18 different projects as opposed to just 13. So focusing the resources on what's important made a big difference here. In addition, we were able to close a lot more projects in 2024 than we had in the past. So we're able to get more things done. That wild team of 19 and a half resources, which really includes me, so in reality it's 18 and a half, served 6,117 incidents and 15,632 service requests, as in my computer's broken, help me, in the 2024 year. That means that the team was able to, on an average, accomplish a closing of 1,088 requests per person in IT over the course of 2024. So that's an awful lot of work by the small team that is IT. And if I come begging and pleading for additional resources, now you'll get an inkling as to why I'm doing that. Next slide, please. Again, I would be very remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about cybersecurity. In higher ed right now, fraud is on the rise and has been on the rise for quite a while. We have multiple measures that are already in place to combat this, but more is coming. I'm happy to report that there still have been no successful cyber attacks on VVC. Which is due to, again, the IT phenomenal work in being able to block attacks as they come in. We have an almost within 30-minute response to any attack on the college that we're able to shut down at the firewall pretty quickly. And that's as evidenced as what's been happening in the past year itself. Staff faculty have multi-factor authentication in place. It was in place actually before I got here, but you'll hear soon that students will be having multi-factor authentication put into place as well. This is to combat the concept of accounts being taken over. The current implementation date for multi-factor authentication for the students is April 18. You'll see your RAM's message tomorrow, trust me, and a whole bunch of communication that's going to come out to ensure the students are ready for that. Next slide. One last thing I forgot on that last slide, just to put things in perspective, thanks, Tim. That last point, in order for a cyber criminal to be successful, they need to be successful once. They need to find one entryway into our networks or into our systems or into our email, et cetera. In order for us to be successful at combating them, we have to be right 100% of the time. It just puts things into a perspective as to how busy the team is. Now, next slide. Thank you. Just to give you an idea as to some of those completed projects, these are some of the larger ones. I'm going to go into detail on a couple of them in the next couple slides. But this is in addition to that 1,088 service requests handled by every single member in IT. These are all the larger, or some of the larger projects we've actually gotten accomplished. For example, the next one, Zoom rooms. Next slide. So Zoom Rooms is a technology and a project that really had been started 3 or 4 years ago, which we actually began implementation. One of the interesting pieces is that the original budget, the original request for Zoom Rooms was at $2.7 million to put 52 Zoom Rooms across campus. By vendor management, by beating down vendors on shipping costs, and ensuring that we're able to adequately and accurately size those rooms, we've reduced the price of this project already by $500,000. We just identified in the last week an additional $48,000 that we're going to save in the next phase of implementation. So not only are we bringing the college ahead, technology-wise, into some really interesting things that Zoom Rooms can do, but we're also effectively saving money in the process. If you're curious what a Zoom Room looks like, next slide. This is a smaller Zoom Room. This is an integrated controller with a big TV. That bar at the bottom of the television actually will track speakers and divide speakers up into their own little Zoom boxes. The idea here is to have an immersive experience that is controlled by one little control panel that's put on the table itself. And we're also coming up with user guides, directions that will be placed into each Zoom room to ensure that everyone will be able to manipulate and utilize these. The first seven of the first 10 Zoom rooms that we implemented in the library. And the reason for that was to get the technology in front of the students as quickly as possible. And the buzz around them was really phenomenal to see. Next one, this is one of our larger Zoom rooms. There are 3 displays in here. This is actually the conference room in building 55. But if you could imagine, this entire conference room is covered by tracking cameras. So no longer is the experience where you as a person participating in a Zoom conference can only see one person, the speaker. The cameras will actually track who is speaking, and if you move around the room, the camera will follow you. So think of this as a hybrid classroom where the instructor, the professor in front of the class is going over to a whiteboard and doing something on the whiteboard. The Zoom room will actually track all of that movement, ensure that people in the classroom and also people in the high flex or hybrid environment can also have the same experience. Last but not least, and this is sort of a little addition that I did. Next slide. Each Zoom room is also being fully equipped with assistive listening technology. This enables people who need some help hearing to utilize those over-the-ear headphones on the right, in addition to using the mic or the technology on the left to amplify sound. In addition to that, each Zoom room is equipped with artificial intelligence transcription, in addition to immediate transcription, so that if a person can't hear, you hit a button and all of the words that are being said in the room are automatically transcribed into the Zoom room for display for reading. So this was just something else that we could do to really make Zoom rooms accessible to as many people as we possibly can. Next slide. We also replaced, and I will admit this was a little hectic because this happened over the course of about 4 days, every printer and copier in the entire campus. What we ended up doing here was using analytics off the original systems to determine which printers and copiers needed to be there and which ones didn't. For example, if a printer only printed 20 pages, and I kid you not, there were a couple of those, 20 pages in the last year, you probably didn't need that printer there, especially if there's a printer in the next room that you could easily walk to. So by looking at the data itself and making data-based or data-driven decisions, we replaced all the systems but had a projected savings of $110,000 over the course of the first year. And over the course of the entire contract, we're saving $314,496 on printing and copying. The one thing that I couldn't work into the contract this time is the staples that go into the copiers for automatic stapling. So I'm going to try to get that next time. Next slide. Another big one that we were able to do here, and this one doesn't necessarily have a full monetary component to it, but it certainly works for ease of use. One of the areas of concern that was mentioned by Cabinet, by Dr. Walden, and in fact by most of our faculty and students, was that originally the student email population, or the student email addresses, were hosted in Google, yet faculty and staff were in Microsoft. What this did was provide deliverability issues, so when a faculty member tried to email their class, sometimes those emails went into junk, and we can't have that. So the IT team decided to and got permission to move the 110,000 plus email accounts in Google back into the Microsoft space. We did this over the course of a single weekend. There were no escalations from Connect to Success into the Tier 2 desktop team because the technology just sort of worked the way it's supposed to. Now, I'll admit again, sometimes this is kind of rocky. We ended up delivering all the new email to the new email box in Microsoft as opposed to the old Gmail one. And by the way, all the Gmail accounts are still accessible, so students can access their entire history if they want to. But this allowed us to utilize things like AI to start detecting and stopping and preventing phishing attempts and spam emails. And this is only getting better and better. In this migration, we also shut down literally tens of thousands of accounts because the students no longer went here. So it was really a waste of space, but it also provided a larger surface area for those hacking folks or the fraud folks to try to gain access to our system to impact the student population. Next slide. An update quick on the Dell lease, and this 427 PC number was accurate as of a couple days ago, but I asked last year for your permission to move forward with the Dell lease, which you've granted us. So we've replaced approximately 1/5 of all computing systems on campus in the past year. Our focus in 2024 was on student-facing systems. So most labs, in fact, the nursing lab is an example, most labs that had systems in there that were 13 plus years old now have modern day systems so that the students can access current technology and also utilize that to go to school and do things for their classes. This is a big enabler also, and this project is still a 5-year refresh cycle, but now every single system will be replaced over the course of 5 years, so students will never have a 5-year-old plus system they have to work with if they're working with a VVC piece of equipment. Next slide. So just to give you a quick idea as to sort of what's coming, multi-factor authentication for everybody, that will shut down for the most part, and you can quote me on this, for the most part. Accounts being taken over from a student perspective. Staff, faculty, when MFA was implemented for them, it cut down the takeover account down to less than 1% of what it used to be, which was a high prevalence. We have also started an identity proofing project where we have provided to a vendor a list of all of our students so that they can run them through an identity proofing process to also try to identify fraudulent accounts so that we can shut those down before they can do anything. We are anticipating that we will complete the first Zoom room project, meaning all 50 some odd rooms this summer. The next group of rooms are slated for mid to late April, and that's in building 50 and 52, so that's 12 classrooms that this technology is going into. And of course, system stabilization, again, that SaaS thing is somewhat of a painful word, I understand that. But what I will tell you is that despite the pain that we've gone through, the past 2 registration cycles did not require us to expand capacity in the registration systems. Normally what we have happen is IT folks stay up literally all night to ensure that the registration systems don't go down. That didn't happen this time, and we didn't need to. So as painful as it's been to get to the SaaS platform, and it is still going to continue to be painful, there is real value to it, and we will continue to strive to get us to that goal. I think that would be my last slide. Can I answer any questions?
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you're doing.
Way to go.
All right, Dr. Riemann, item 8.2, solar presentation.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. I'd like to bring up Nate Smith from Forefront Power. He's going to share a brief presentation on the differences between the presentation you saw last month and this month. So, go ahead, Nate.
Thank you, Eric. Hello, trustees. Sorry I could not make it in person last time and sent the sacrificial lambs in my stead. I feel notorious for all the wrong reasons, and I appreciate the opportunity to be up here again and talk a little bit more about this project. I'm going to keep it as short as humanly possible because I know that last time we went way over. Can we go to slide, can we start at slide 6, please? I'd just like to highlight one of the requests coming out of our meeting last month was the cost to terminate the agreement. That's $670,000, which is a reimbursement to Forefront Power for our work in progress, so all the money that we've spent and invested into the project development. Could I go to slide 12, please? The only update in terms of the cost that we have here that we were awaiting feedback from our geotechnical from last month is our geotechnical budget. So as I mentioned in the last presentation, The geotechnical risk is actually not in the canopy system in Lot Q. It's actually updating the existing or removing the existing ground mount system and installing a new system, fixed tilt ground mount system. We've switched from, I always get this wrong, from driven to drilled piers, from drilled to driven piers to reduce the geotechnical risk and budget. The geotechnical budget is $600,000. The request to the college is splitting that with Forefront Power. Forefront Power absorbs $300,000, the district absorbs $300,000, which allows us to retain the not to exceed rate in the contract, if that makes sense. So, next slide, please. That entirety of cost from contract execution to today would be $1.3 million. You can see the breakdown here. We reviewed the broken medium voltage circuit. We reviewed the EV charging stations, the ADA, and now the geotechnical. So rounding that out, you can see the base PPA rate at 16.25, the updated PPA rate at just shy of 19 cents. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. We can see the one scenario of the district absorbing the costs into the PPA rate at 18.99. Next slide, please. And then the alternative scenario, which was also requested, which would be the district paying for these costs out of pocket. You can see that the first years are negative, obviously, because you have the 1.325 out of pocket expenditure. The 20-year savings is actually higher because you're not financing, right, those additional costs. We can see these in the breakdown cash flows. Could you go to the 2 slides ahead, please? This is the version where the district is absorbing the additional cost via the PPA rate. Next slide, please. And then this is the cash flows in which the district injects in cash the $1.3 million. Questions, comments?
No?
No.
No?
Thank you.
Do you have a plane to catch or anything?
No, I'm good to go. I'm here all night.
Would you mind waiting until we hit 14.4?
Of course.
Did you plan on staying anyway?
No, I'm good, yeah.
Okay,
No
just in
worries.
case any other questions come up,
course.
we'll address them when we hit the
Sounds
item.
good.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
So we don't have a facilities update, so next is the foundation. Kirsten?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for those kind remarks and comments about the gala. I really appreciate that. If you'll put the video on.
Uh-oh, is this
Okay.
photographic evidence?
Next slide, please. I do want to report out that we received a $10,000 grant from LMA Pathways. So that's Modern Language Association. One of the part-time faculty wrote this, and it is to support a Humanities Career Exploration Academy. So it's going to be an inaugural event that they are planning, and the $10,000 will provide stipends to, I'm sorry, I wrote it here, to allow first-generation and low-income and workforce students, and they'll be selecting those students. Now the next slide will be our video. recap. Thank you. And then next slide. So we netted $98,042 to go to student scholarships.
Higher next year. That's so good.
Half of that was Mikey bidding on baskets.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone actively participating in the fundraising efforts.
Actively is the key word.
Next slide, please. And I also wanted to give a recap. We just had our President's Circle for March, and I included a video of our recent event. You could please play that, Tim? Thank you, Tim. President's Circle is an affinity group that allows for membership, and you get a fantastic meal served by restaurant management 4 times a year. It raises money for scholarships, so that impact goes directly to our students as well. And we have many of our members here in the audience with us at our President's Circle, and also as well here on the dais. So I want to thank you for your support, and are there any questions for me?
Just a comment, the lunch, that soup, I told Tyler that he could can that, take it to Campbell's and be a billionaire overnight. It was like an Irish, it was like it had cabbage and sausage. I can still taste it. I will say this, you know, all the award winners did a great job. But for me, being here 38 years, to listen to Terry Caldwell talk, he's not a public figure anymore. There's not going to be a whole lot more public speaks that he's going to be able to make. It was great for all of us that got to see him. He's been such a leader. He's done a lot of great things, and I'm just glad that the foundation recognized him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you should join the club. It's the best lunch in town.
All right, ASB goals, Haley.
Hello again. All right, pending tonight's vote, shade structures will be set up around the 66's complex. We are very excited about this, especially me, because this has been a goal that has been one of mine for the past 2 years I've been part of ASB. So I'm really excited to see this go forward. And we are still meeting with our best friends and administrators to follow up on the rest of our goals. Thank you.
Best friend.
All right, so brief comment from Dr. Walden. He's going to be bringing an award to share with the board and the community at our meeting in April.
Awesome.
Perfect. That concludes President's report. All right, Academic Senate. No, not tonight? Huh. AFT part-time. ASB.
It's me again. All right, so this is about our Washington, D.C. trip. ASB leaves this week, Thursday at 3 in the morning.
Oh, Robert.
That was I'm actually the one that suggested the 6 a.m. flight, so it's my fault.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because it worked last year. And then Friday, we will be laying the wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. On Tuesday, we have a planned tour of the Pentagon. And then we have our meeting set on Monday with Senator Schiff's office, Representative Obernolte, and Senator Padilla. And we also have a scheduled tour of the Capitol.
So cool. We need lots of pictures. We'll miss you. We'll miss you guys.
CSE, were you done? You were done. CSEA. Not here. CTA. Management. They never miss an opportunity.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Felicia Curry. I'm here to speak about the Student Engagement Centers. Any day now.
Sounds like a song. It probably is a song.
We're coming. Here we go. So we go to the next slide, Tim. We are currently in year 2 of operation within the Student Engagement Centers, and our mission still remains the same on student success. We're really focused on creating community and engagement and really an environment where students feel welcomed, As we go into year 2 for this spring semester, we really focus on expanding our programming, really deepening engagement, and strengthening our impacts across campus. We can go to the next slide. So for this year alone, last academic year, we served a total of 8,686 students. And this year alone, we have a total of 9,428 students that we served. That's across going from fall semester up until the first month into the spring. So as you can see, we really increased our visibility across campus. Students are becoming more aware of who we are, our services, and it's really due to just the collaborative effort that we have across campus with faculty, staff, and other departments. You know, they're really giving us a shout out, essentially, right? They're letting students know where we are, how they can find us, and all the services available to them. Some of the service that we provide, obviously the counseling is really critical to what we do in-house. We have in-house counseling available to students. We offer campus resource connections. Students can come in there for study groups as well as independent study. We also have faculty facilitators within each one of our engagement centers. So students can come in and, again, have that one-on-one connection with faculty, right? Create that out of the classroom experience so they could feel more in touch, right? And relate to faculty a little bit more. And of course, the program managers, we are always available for students. We do individual case management support for students as well. And we've had over 300 programs and events since the fall semester. So you can see how busy we are in the centers. We always have something going on. We try to keep students as engaged as possible. And some of those events, we have admissions and scholarship workshops. We've collaborated with the Black Student Success Week. We've done building relationship with faculty, MESA 101. We've had stress management workshop. Women in STEM has held events in the centers as well. We've done Victorville Courthouse tour. And really, I just wanted to highlight this event just to show the diversity of programming, right? Our student body is diverse. You know, our majors are diverse. So we really make sure within the centers that we actually also provide opportunities where every student feels seen and welcomed and included. Next slide, please. And in our second year, we've kind of learned lessons, right? Coming into our second year, we've learned lessons in terms of what target population, which students groups need the most help. And we've really focused our efforts and aid onto students receiving Pell Grants, also level 1 probational students as well as first year, first gen students. While our events and initiatives, all students can come to all of our programming, but we try to focus our efforts on these students that need the most help. And some of our initiatives, some old and some new, our new student orientation, we hold it each year. Really that smooth transition into the VVC community, welcoming new students onto campus. We do case management. I mentioned it in the previous slide. We do case management with students where we have a case of students where we connect with, periodically check on them, making sure they're doing well, connecting them to resources. Through those case management, we also do peer-to-peer support where we connect students to our peer mentors that we have in-house. Again, just to give them that connection, right, that community. Because we can tell students what to do all day long, but sometimes it helps when it comes from their own peers. As well as we also do focus forward workshops for our level 1 students on level 1 probation, where we invite them in to come. It's not mandatory, but we do work with our admissions and records department to kind of give that information out to students so they will join us and come get some information how essentially we can help them, right, increase their grade, their GPA. And we found the students that participate in the workshop and also join our engagement center workshops, they have seen an increase in the GPA, right? Because once they come in, they get connected to those resources and those support services. And essentially, they do find that they're not alone in this journey, right? They do have that community available to them. And there's so many resources at VVC. And sometimes it's just hard for students to find out where to go, right? It's just, we have that centralized location where they can come and then they get connected to those resources. This semester, we're doing our Dream Big, Achieve More event where we are re-engaging students, right? Because sometimes after orientation, we kind of forget about students. Like, okay, we got you oriented, now you're on your own. But this semester, we wanted to re-engage them, invite them back in, get them excited about learning again. So we have an event April 3rd right here in the event center where we invite them back in as well as high school students. So we also have high school students joining in because we want an opportunity for the high school students to also meet some of the VVC students, right? Get them inspired, get them engaged, get them to see what VVC has to offer and get connected to some resources early on, right? Before they even step foot on campus. And then we also have another initiative, our VVC PALS program, where we're looking to connect every student to a mentor. First year, we focusing on first year, first gen students, where when they come on campus, they'll be connected to a student that's already a part of VVC. Again, just trying to make ways that students don't feel like they're alone when they step foot on campus. This VVC PALS also goes into our summer readiness program, where we're hoping we're going to provide a month for students after orientation to just come in, get oriented, feel ready for first day into their first year at VVC. And I just wanted to highlight from our survey from our new student orientation in 2024, some of the feedback that we received. 92.8% of the students that joined us from the 420 students said that they feel more confident, right, in the ability to succeed just coming to VVC, just by coming to that one-day orientation. So just imagine how it will feel to have that re-engagement, right, throughout the semester, how much more students will feel more confident coming in. And again, 78.4% felt like they know at least a VVC staff or faculty, right? Again, they coming into VVC knowing somebody, feeling like they could at least go to somebody for that help, for that support, having a familiar face on campus. It really helps when you step foot day one. And then for awareness, we have 92.8% that now understood the counseling and the support service available to them. I mean, students will tell you, if they see a counselor within that first semester while they're here, it tremendously helps their success, right? It gets them on the right track. So we want to make sure that they know those services available to them. And then just two quotes from a few of the students. One said, I learned about the engagement center, which was very comforting to know that I have somewhere to go for extra help was very good to know. And that's really what we are here for, right? That's what we hope students will get from that, to feel comforted, to feel like they have a home away from home, they have a space that they could come to. And then another student said they learned what major they want to do and how to get there. Again, we want to set you up on the right path. We don't want you to come in here taking a semester of essentially useless classes, right, that you don't need. We want to make sure that you're on the right path. You know where to go, where to find the services. And, we like to have the students here, but we want to see them go. Our goal is to see them go and go on to do amazing things in life. But thank you for having me. Any questions?
Thank you so much.
Looks amazing. You think you're going to double this year the attendance?
Triple.
Woo!
Triple this year.
I love it. We'll see you next year to
Put
hear
money
the,
on it.
to hear the word.
All right, consent agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Brady, second by Tarpley. Student advisory vote.
Yes.
We're waiting for the tabulation. I liked your energy. You had good energy.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. We need that energy.
Come into the space more. You get more of that energy.
I get it.
There we go. 11.2, second read and approval, Board Policy 2432. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Brady, second by Terrell. Any discussion? Student advisory.
Yes.
Slow.
Yeah, you have to vote, Jen.
Shut up.
It's like, there we go. 11.3, second read approval, Board Policy 2410. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by
I'll second.
Brady, second by Tarpley. Any discussion? Student advisory.
Yes.
Thanks for sending these out, by the way, well in advance, so we can read them ahead of time.
That's good bedtime reading material.
Puts you right.
Sometime, every once in a while, I catch a typo in one of them. And 11.4, Board Policy 2430.
Motion.
Motion by Terrell, second by Brady. Discussion, Student Advisory.
Yes.
Mine's really slow to come up, just so you know.
Oh, yeah. Blame the computer.
I shall.
Blame the computer. Didn't even know your goals, weren't ready to do your duty.
Trustee Brady.
Joe's busy texting. You're going to have to wait.
Yep, got it.
Did you vote?
He just
Yeah.
did.
Oh. There we go. 12.2, Board Resolution 2504, Women's History Month.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Tarpley, second by Brady. And
I'll
how
read
about
it.
our
We should
lady
read it.
trustee read it?
Ooh,
Would that
I
be
would
okay?
Happy to. On the motion of Member Tarpley and a second by Member Brady, the following resolution is hereby adopted. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways, and whereas American women have played and continue to play critical economic, cultural, and social roles in every sphere of the life of our nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force of the nation, and whereas American women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our nation, and whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas American women have served our country courageously in the military. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. Whereas, despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in the literature, teaching, and study of American history. And whereas Victor Valley Community College District, as a public institution of higher learning, is dedicated to providing opportunities for all people so that they can reach their highest potential. And whereas the passage of Public Law 100-9 officially established March as National Women's History Month, and whereas Women's History Month is an opportunity for all Americans to commemorate the struggles and victories of American women in our history and their invaluable contributions to society. Now therefore be it resolved that Victor Valley Community College District proclaims March 2025 as National Women's History Month.
Very nice. Student advisory vote.
Yes.
All right, 12.3, CCCT Board Elections 2025.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Brady, second by Tarpley.
I brought a list.
There we go.
You
I
brought
was
a
gonna
list?
say, you've got, you
I did too.
participate heavily with the groups, so. What is it
So-
this year? It's
Four.
four, right?
Yeah, four. So my list are the three incumbents, so Tammy Silver from Pasadena, Inez De Luna from Napa, and Jose Alcala from Riverside. And then my last submission is Carolyn from South Orange County. Those are my recommendations, if anybody ever asked.
my recommendations are your three
Yep.
and Julie Shore. I talked to James Marino, who used to be president of the board. Talked to Greg Penzo, I've known forever, who's sat on the board. It seems like he's been on there forever. I thought there was kind of a limit. So those were the four that they came back. So we got 3 out of 4. So, you know, it doesn't matter. I tend to go with people who are on the board because it's they that have to work with these people.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you talk to anybody on the board?
I did.
On the board?
Yep.
Okay.
I sure did. So, you know, I still have connections with the Women's Caucus, and so I reached out to my connection there to get their
So someone wants to
indicator.
amend the motion. We could be here all day long debating this.
Well, Terrell had a list too.
Yeah,
I think
I
you
had-
heard him. He said I have a list also.
I did. I had none of the incumbents except for Pasadena. So that was the only one that I was an incumbent, and I was going for fresh blood. And that would be Milton Richards from Yosemite, Michael Reeves from Antelope Valley, and Gregory Hanna from Siskiyou Joint. Those were my recommendations, based on internet stalking.
Nice. Well. So,
The board does, we've done our homework, so the board, someone make a motion, it doesn't matter. I've done my homework, she's done her homework. We've talked to board members, and I think it's,
we want to get one out of the way. You said you agree on Pasadena.
Correct.
So that's
So,
number 15 on our list.
I'll make a motion that we
Tammy.
cast our
So,
available
from
votes
Pasadena.
for number 15, the trustee from Pasadena.
Okay.
Any discussion specifically on that? Student trustee,
Yes.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, somebody want to make a motion now? So that's one down. Anybody want to make a motion for somebody else? Trustee Terrell?
I'd make a motion for number 10, Michael Reeves from Antelope Valley, to have some high desert representation. Plus, he's a CTE advocate, and I happen to be a CTE advocate.
How long has he been on a board?
How long has he been? I believe he said 10 years.
You make the motion, I'll second the motion. Discussion.
I'm fine.
And I'll abdicate for the other two. Whatever you two decide on the other two, I'll go along with that.
All right, he's trading.
Call for the vote.
Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What were the other ones? You had 5.
I'll throw a motion for Inez De Luna
And Jose.
and Jose Zavala.
I'll second.
Okay.
Motion by Brady, second by Terrell. Any discussion? Student advisory, did I skip you last one? I did,
Yeah.
didn't I? Student advisory, there, I made up for it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes and yes. So,
Call for the
Stephanie,
vote.
that's 5, 6, 10, and 15 on the list.
Good call.
Nope.
Yeah, let's clarify. It
It's
should be
5,
15.
Jose Alcala from Riverside Community College District. 6, Inez De Luna from Napa Valley. 10, Michael Reeves from Antelope Valley. And 15, Tammy Silver from Pasadena. Okay.
That was good.
Are you good?
We've taken 45 minutes over this before.
We got better at
And-
it.
Oh, yeah,
We got
yeah.
better.
Call for the vote. Aye.
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 All right. Wow.
Student advisory?
I did
You
it
did?
twice.
He did
All
it
right.
twice.
Do you want us to click the yay, nay, or abstain button?
She did it for us.
You did it. Mine's
She
still up.
did.
So we're good on that?
Up, there it went. All right, that was excellent teamwork. 14.1, emergency agreement, High Desert Underground,
Motion.
Inc. Motion by Brady.
Second.
Second by Terrell. Any discussion? Student advisory vote.
Yes.
All right, 14.2, purchase agreement with Cart Mart.
Motion.
Second.
It's fun to say.
Cart Mart.
Cart
Only
Mart.
if I can drive one.
Right. Motion by Brady, second by Tarpley. Any discussion? Student advisory.
Yes.
I thought I already clicked it.
I think you're clicking above it because it's highlighting it.
The left side highlights. I
Yeah.
You got to calibrate your mouse.
don't know why.
Tim,
Good,
calibrate
good
his
one.
mouse. Did it come up? Popped up, right? 14.3, purchase agreement, Victorville Fleet and Commercial. Is there a motion? Motion
Second.
Brady, second Tarpley. Discussion, student advisory vote.
Yes.
Yeah, yours is funky. It's coming up highlighted.
Tim, I don't know why, but mine's all highlighted when I go to vote. Just FYI.
He's voting for you.
We hacked him.
Yeah.
We hacked him,
Right.
Jay.
Tim,
I'm
lock,
so good at that.
lock Brady in one of those Zoom rooms.
Yeah. Keep the key.
Keep the key. Let me take a nap.
Hide it on the field.
14.4, Forefront Power Energy Service Agreement, change acknowledgement. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion Terrell,
I'll second.
second Tarpley.
It's
Discussion.
making me twitch.
I do have some information I'd like to share.
Thank you, sir. Is that a smiley face?
No, that's just so
Oh.
you can keep track. I tried to make it,
You dumbed it down for me?
Is it
Thank you.
possible to put it up?
I didn't share it.
Oh.
Do we have that technology?
Do we have
Tim?
an overhead projector?
Do we have
Anyone?
Elmo?
Or would it take a while to get it up on the big screen?
Text it to Tim. He's a miracle worker.
I didn't, it's on my home laptop, so I just
Yeah.
printed it out. I can
please.
give my copy for the record. Anyways, what I did is I looked at 10 months' worth of electric bills for the circuit that's going to be attached to the solar field. And I compiled that to an average cost of electricity, a average kilowatt hour per use, and an average cost on a monthly basis. So fortunately, we had the hot months, June, July, and August, September as well, and we had the cold months of January, February, and I also had December and November. So those are on the left side of the sheet that I gave to you. Circled is the average cost, and then I ran the costs for the original PPA, and then I also ran the high end, which was the 18.99. What I did then is gave you what the cost difference was for us paying for the improvements up front as opposed to incorporating those into the rate structure. Then I also ran a high and low usage as well, which are the ones on the far right-hand side, and the differences for those two over a 20-year period are circled. So Jennifer, the circle one on the left is the average cost of our electricity as opposed to the PPA agreement.
Right now.
That would be based on the 10 most recent bills that we had.
Okay. Dude, you're a nerd.
I do quite a bit of power cost
Oh my
analysis
God.
for.
Looking at this like,
Steve, I'm trying to follow the number here because I know where you're going. If we included that,
If we included, it's the 1899.
no, if we included that, the upfront cost.
Yeah, that's including the upfront cost. So basically, we roll that into the financing. Instead of the 1625, it becomes 1899.
So the difference
wait,
between
hold
the
on.
two,
Joe, can you pause 1 second? Where are you talking about 1899? What?
on the column right in the middle. There's two columns,
one with
0.16,
the arrow.
20,
0.18.
20 item columns just to the right of that. Keep going.
Right here?
Yeah, that's 1899 and the 1625.
Okay, now I see it. Got it.
So the difference
Okay.
is 337,000.
Based on the 1 year's worth of data, yes, extrapolated over 20 years. So that if we were to pay the 1.3 million up front or finance it, the difference if we finance it is basically 337,000 based on the 1 year. So it would make sense to incorporate the changes into the PPA.
And not pay it up front.
Correct. Then we can use that money for other things.
Do you want to make a motion?
I did make a motion that this is the discussion item, Joe.
Yeah.
So I made a motion that we accept the Forefront Solar proposal.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
I want to make a motion that we no longer call it solar and we call it sun-powered. And we never talk about this again. Those are my two stipulations.
You just get mad if we call it sun power.
For those that
I'll
don't
just
know,
get mad
we've
that
had
way.
quite a conversation over the years about solar.
And I've given Stephanie my copy, so if anybody wants to see that.
Trustee Terrell, I'd like to thank you for helping bring this number down here, bring some clarification, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, that really just bottom lines it,
It does.
right? Like, that's
why
amazing. Thank you.
The data helps.
Thank you very much. That really
Point of
bottom lines it.
information.
Yep.
Student
Yeah,
advisory.
tell us. Say it louder. Loud and
Student
proud, Haley.
advisory.
Speak up, girl.
Yes?
I was waiting for you to recognize me. So student advisory says
I
yes.
recognize you, Haley. I recognize you. And Haley. I'm not going to say which one's 2.0, though. Y'all ain't baiting me into that.
Again.
Student advisory says yes.
Oh.
The
I
vote
s-
is
I see
pending.
what you're doing there. All right. Student advisory.
Well, I
Yes.
knew the vote popped up, so.
Any other discussion?
No, for
Hearing
the love
none.
of God, no.
Hearing none.
So I shot the messenger last month and you got away clean.
What
All right.
are we doing today?
There we go. After that, does anybody need a break now or
Yes, I
keep
have to
going?
go to the
Break? I knew Jen was going to say
Sorry,
for a
guys.
break. There we
I'll be
go. We're
quick.
through the funnest part of it, I think. All right,
High
break
five.
time. I don't know.
We need a high five.
Come
with
back
the
whenever.
team.
Come back whenever.
10 minutes. 10 minutes?
High
8
five.
minutes?
Quarter after.
I just
What do you want? How long do you want? What, do you got to like run home real quick and let the cat out or what? You have to. All right. I didn't think I'd ever have to use the gavel. All right, here we go. 14.5 resolution. We're going to have a public hearing regarding the district's intent to convey easements to the town of Apple Valley, Southern California Edison Company, San Bernardino County Service Area 64, City of Victorville, and approval of Resolution 25.05. I will call this public hearing open and invite anyone to the podium who would like to speak on this public hearing issue. Going once, going twice. Nobody? What? Sewell's looking at me like, it's a public hearing, Sewell. Got to give him the opportunity to stand up and say something. Okay, is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Brady, second by Terrell. Any oh, yep, we have to close the public hearing. And any discussion, student advisory vote?
Yes.
We're going to be able to tell Dan that we got out of here earlier because he wasn't here.
Right, it's all his fault.
You already texted me.
Is it up? Oh, it's sped up now. Purchase and service agreement with Open Group.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Tarpley, second by Brady. Any discussion? Student advisory.
Yes.
$14.7. Board signatory delegation change. Don't make any there we go. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Brady, second by Tarpley. Any discussion? Student advisory.
Yes.
$14.8 contract agreement, PCH Architects, Building 10 improvements. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Tarpley, second by
Brady.
Brady. Discussion? Student advisory.
Yes.
14.9 PCH Architects, Event Center Kitchen.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Tarpley, second by Brady. Am I going too quick for you?
Nope.
Nope, okay. Discussion? Student advisory.
Yes.
Voting is open.
1410 agreement with American Modular Systems.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Tarpley, second by Brady. Any discussion? Student advisory.
Yes.
$14.11 agreement PCH Architects, Ram Store Improvements.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Tarpley, second by Brady. Discussion, student advisory.
I actually do have something to comment on here. So this is one of last year ASB's goals, was to get a coffee shop, boba bar for the Rams bookstore. So that's kind of cool. But student advisory says yes.
Nice. For 15.1 renewal of education administrator contract.
Motion.
Second.
Contracts. Motion by Tarpley, second by Brady. Any discussion? Student advisory.
Yes.
15.2, reorganization position change, Executive Director of Student Services.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Tarpley, second by Brady. Any discussion? Student Advisory.
Yes.
.3 employment action regarding educational administrator agreement, non-renewal of current employee contracts.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Tarpley, second by Brady. Discussion? And Student Advisory?
Yes.
.4 public hearing on the district and VVCFA Chapter 1169 CTA CCA NEA proposal for successor collective bargaining agreement. So we will deem the public hearing open and invite anybody to the podium who would like to make comment in this public hearing that is now open. Don't crowd the podium, folks. Calm down.
Standing in line only.
Calm down. And we'll say the public hearing is closed. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Brady, second by Tarpley. Discussion? Student Advisory.
Yes.
.1 curriculum changes.
Motion.
Second.
Waiting for the last vote to pop.
Oh, I thought it did too.
All right, so motion by Brady, second by Tarpley. Any discussion? And Student Advisory?
Yes.
Now, under 18, this is information and discussion. Does anybody have any discussion about 18.1.2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10? These are all first reads of board policies. Thank you for sending them ahead of time. Somebody didn't vote.
We've received them.
Yep.
We received them. Any discussion?
No. Thank you.
Okay. 19.1, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Terrell, second by Brady. There we go, down by 7:30.
Please note, we are done at 7:29.
The big
And